Welcome to Daikin web-based training. When a number of air conditioning units are installed in a large-sized building, it is best to utilize a centralized control system that can monitor and control the entire air conditioning system from one location in a centralized manner. In this course, we will learn about Daikin's proprietary centralized control system, Dbacks. Let's look at what we will be learning in this course. First, we will learn about what Dbacks is. Second, we will look at the scenarios where it is beneficial to use Dbacks. Third, we will learn about the types of Dbacks. And finally, we will look at the characteristics of various Dbacks equipment. Let's first learn about what Dbacks is. In a small-sized building where a relatively small number of air conditioning units are installed, it is possible to operate and control them individually by installing a remote controller in each room, as well as centrally from one location by placing all the second remote controllers, for example, in the control room. Meanwhile, in a large-sized building that houses a number of tenants, rooms are arbitrarily divided and layouts frequently changed, depending on the tenant's needs. Because of the large number of air conditioning units likely installed in a large-sized building, it is not very realistic to place all the second remote controllers in one location, such as the control room. Moreover, it makes sense to integrate the management of the air conditioning units with other third-party building equipment by assigning a central controller, more functions beyond that for a single piece of equipment like the air conditioning system. In order to address these needs of large-sized buildings, Daikin developed a system called the Daikin Building Air Conditioning Control System, or Dbacks, which allows efficient control of various building equipment with focus on the air conditioning system. Now, let's take a look at the scenarios where it is beneficial to use Dbacks. Various types of building equipment needs to be managed in a large-sized building. Particularly with regard to the air conditioning system, it is important to be able to set and operate an individual air conditioning unit just like is done using a handheld remote controller, as well as centrally monitor its settings and operation status. Moreover, it is necessary to pursue more energy, cost and labor-saving operation and management of the air conditioning system by monitoring the on, off and malfunction statuses of each air conditioning unit and conducting demand operation and energy-saving operation. Dbacks is also useful in a building that is occupied by a multiple number of tenants, because complicated management of the air conditioning units is required in such a building. For example, schedule operation control enables operation of the air conditioning units in line with the business hours of each tenant, while air conditioning power consumption charge management can be used to generate an electric bill for tenants based on their actual power consumption. Moreover, key interlock control will be suitable for preventing the air conditioning units from being forgotten to be turned off when they are not in use, such as during non-business hours and holidays, because it automatically turns off the air conditioning units in an interlocked manner when the entrance is locked. Let's now take a look at the different types of Dbacks equipment. When the main focus of control is on air conditioning units, D3net is used as a communications system between the indoor and outdoor units. D3net is a signal transmission wiring system that has been developed specifically for Daikin's VRV and HRV systems. When controlling the air conditioning units in a building where the VRV system is primarily used, the Dbacks equipment that can be directly connected to D3net, namely the ITouch Manager, ITouch Controller, and or Central Remote Controller, is used. Use of this Dbacks equipment enables various types of control functions that appropriately correspond to the scale of the air conditioning system in question. When other types of air conditioning units, such as Sky Air, package air conditioners, or residential air conditioners are used in combination with the VRV system, those units are connected to D3net via an interface adapter PCB, because they cannot be directly connected to D3net. Moreover, when controlling other building equipment such as pumps and lighting along with the air conditioning system, it is necessary to use an interface adapter PCB, because that building equipment cannot be directly connected to D3net either. Note that when using Dbacks, there are limitations on the combination of equipment, and this should be taken into account when designing the air conditioning system. There are some cases where much of the building equipment, including the air conditioning system, is managed comprehensively by a building management system, or where new air conditioning units are additionally installed due to renovation or the like, and managed by the existing BMS along with the existing air conditioning units. As D3Net is based on communications standards developed by Daikin, it cannot be directly connected to a BMS. To manage Daikin's air conditioning units using a third-party BMS, it is necessary to use an interface that enables communication between D3Net and the BMS. Daikin has developed several types of interfaces to have compatibility with the major open communications standards for BMSs, including Backnet and Longworks. With those interfaces, Dbacks is able to support many different types of control functions for the air conditioning system. When a BMS is used to control the air conditioning system, Daikin is responsible for everything up to the completion of the test run of the air conditioning units, while the system integrator will take charge of the setting and confirmation of operation and management items for all the building equipment including the air conditioning system. When you want to use communications standards other than Backnet and Longworks for a BMS, be sure to contact a Daikin dealer to confirm the feasibility of the system. In the case of partial replacement or additional installation of air conditioning units, Daikin's products may be installed in combination with the existing air conditioning management system. However, D3Net cannot be directly connected to the existing air conditioning management system because it is based on Daikin's own communications standards. An air conditioning management system that is not based on open communications standards uses contact inputs/outputs, and it is necessary to use an interface between D3Net and output-input contacts to allow them to communicate. This type of interface is called adapter PCB, and there are several products available from Daikin. One type is used as an interface between an air conditioning management system and D3Net when controlling Daikin's small to medium-scale air conditioning system. With this type of adapter PCB, air conditioning units connected via D3Net or remote control wiring can be turned on and off in a centralized manner, as well as transmit malfunction signals to the air conditioning management system. Another type of adapter PCB is an interface between an air conditioning management system and Dbacks controllers, such as the ITouch Controller and Central Remote Controller, and it is used when controlling Daikin's medium to large-scale air conditioning system. With this type of adapter PCB, these Dbacks controllers can be collectively turned on and off by the air conditioning management system, as well as transmit malfunction signals to it. Because air conditioning units are managed using only input-output contacts, these interfaces have limitations on the types of control functions they can offer, but they allow configuration of an air conditioning management system in a simple and inexpensive manner. Now, let's look at the respective functions of the Dbacks equipment and the corresponding scale of the air conditioning system. A remote controller can offer a variety of functions in terms of controlling air conditioning units, but it is only suitable for a relatively small-scale air conditioning system. While an adapter PCB offers a limited number of functions because it operates only with contact signals, it realizes simple and inexpensive management of air conditioning units. This said, the number of adapter PCBs that need to be installed goes up as the scale of the air conditioning system gets larger, and this may result in a situation where the total cost of the adapter PCBs exceeds the cost of an upper-level controller, diminishing the benefits of using an adapter PCB. Therefore, be sure to select it for small to medium-scale air conditioning systems. The on-off controller, schedule timer, central remote controller and ITouch controller are used for medium to large-scale air conditioning systems. In terms of functionality, the ITouch controller is the highest. The ITouch Manager is suitable for the management of a large-scale air conditioning system. Meanwhile, a BMS is used to achieve detailed and precise control of all the building equipment, including the air conditioning system. And Backnet or Longworks is usually used as an interface between the BMS and the air conditioning units. Now, let's look at the characteristics of each piece of Dbacks equipment. First, we will learn about the central remote controller, on-off controller, and schedule timer. This is the central remote controller, and it looks like this after the power is turned on. Up to 64 groups of indoor units can be connected to the central remote controller. The 64 groups are displayed like this, with one grid representing one group. The name of the group is referred to as the address, and up to 64 groups are assigned an address from 10 to 115, 20 to 215, 30 to 315, and 40 to 415. The indoor units connected to the central remote controller can be turned on and off collectively, as well as individually. When turning multiple indoor units on and off collectively, use these buttons. When turning one indoor unit on or off individually, first select the desired indoor unit and then press the individual on/off button here. The central remote controller also allows for basic operation of indoor units, such as changing the set temperature, fan speed, airflow direction, and operation mode. The central remote controller can prohibit the operation of an indoor unit from its remote controller. First, select the indoor unit and then select the desired number using the code number button. Let's take a look at the two numbers that can be selected by the code number button as an example. When the number shows the default value of 7, it means that the indoor unit can be operated freely from the respective remote controller. When the number is changed to 1, the indoor unit cannot be turned on or off from the respective remote controller. On/off operation is only possible from the central remote controller. At this time, the remote controller will display a sign that indicates its operation is prohibited by the central remote controller. Prohibition of other operations from the remote controller, besides on/off operation, can also be set using the code number button. Select the appropriate number for the operation that you wish to prohibit being done from the remote controller. Although the central remote controller does not have the schedule management function, the indoor units connected to it can be operated based on the programmed schedule if the separately sold schedule timer is used in combination with the central remote controller. Use the timer number button to interlock an indoor unit with the specific schedule pattern. This is the on/off controller. Up to 16 groups of indoor units can be connected to this controller. One button and one indicator lamp represents one group, and 16 buttons and 16 indicator lamps make up 16 groups. When the on/off controller is used alone, the group addresses of 0 to 15 are assigned to the groups of indoor units. When the on/off controller is used in combination with the central remote controller, 64 groups of indoor units can be connected, and the group addresses of 10 to 115, 20 to 215, 30 to 315, and 40 to 415 are assigned to the groups. The indoor units connected to the on/off controller can be turned on and off both collectively and individually. When turning the indoor units on and off collectively, use these buttons. When they are turned on collectively, all the indicator lamps light up at the same time, and when they are turned off collectively, all the lamps go off at the same time. When turning the indoor units on or off individually, use these individual on/off buttons. Pressing a button once alternates the operation of the indoor unit in question between on and off. Unlike the central remote controller, the on/off controller does not have an LCD screen and only features the on/off function. This is the schedule timer. Up to 128 groups of indoor units can be connected to this timer. It has a built-in weekly clock and allows for scheduled management of the connected indoor units in a collective manner. This timer allows for programming of the operation schedule by the minute, as well as setting of twice daily on/off times for a week. If the schedule timer is used alone, it allows for programming of only one schedule pattern. But if it is used in combination with the central remote controller, up to 8 schedule patterns can be programmed for a desired indoor unit. It has a built-in battery, and the programmed schedule data can be protected for up to 48 hours in the event of a power failure. Now, let's move on to the ITouch controller. This is the ITouch controller, and when it is turned on, the color LCD lights up. Up to 128 groups of indoor units can be connected to this controller when the optional D3Net Plus adapter is attached. It features a color LCD touch panel and is operated by touching the screen with the attached touch pen. Like a PC, this LCD screen can display various views, facilitating detailed setting. Moreover, it allows for input of characters and the like, allowing information such as the location of the indoor units to be displayed on the screen. It also has a built-in calendar clock allowing management of the operation schedule for a year. Using the simple interlock function, it is possible to program interlocked operation, such as turning on other indoor units when one indoor unit is turned on. The language can be selected according to the country where the controller is being used. The ITouch controller allows the on-off operation of other building equipment besides the air conditioning system, such as pumps and lighting. It also features a function that controls the air conditioning units upon receiving a signal from an external device. To realize this, however, it is necessary to use an optional digital input-output unit, as well as conduct on-site wiring work. Let's now take a look at the system configuration. A system in which the ITouch controller is used alone has one D3net line to which up to 64 groups of indoor units can be connected. If it is necessary to connect more than 64 groups of indoor units, one more D3net line can be added by connecting an optional D3net Plus adapter to the ITouch controller. This enables connection of another 64 groups of indoor units. Use of an optional digital input or digital input-output unit enables the ITouch controller to manage the on-off operation of other building equipment besides the air conditioning system, such as pumps and lighting, as well as control the air conditioning units upon receiving a signal from an external device. When an off signal is sent to the built-in forced-off input port from, for example, the fire detection equipment, the ITouch controller shuts down all the indoor units connected to it. If the optional unified remote adapter is used, the indoor units connected to the ITouch controller can be turned on and off collectively by and monitored from the air conditioning management system. Connecting to the public phone line via the internal modem allows use of the ACNSS service, with which information on a potential malfunction predicted by the ITouch controller can be reported to Daikin's after-sales service division before the malfunction actually occurs. Note that use of the ACNSS service requires a separate contract with Daikin's after-sales service division. Let's now learn about the ITouch Manager. This is the ITouch Manager, and when it is turned on, the color LCD lights up. Up to 512 groups of indoor units can be connected to it. It features a large screen color LCD touch panel and is operated by touching the screen with your finger. Like a PC, this LCD screen can display various views, facilitating detailed setting. In terms of functionality, the ITouch Manager is an advanced version of the ITouch controller, so we will focus on the new features that the ITouch controller does not have. The ITouch Manager automatically reads the indoor unit's data when they are connected to it. As data can be moved to and from a USB flash drive via a built-in USB port, it is possible to input the necessary setting data on a PC and move it to the ITouch Manager. In addition to the list view, the indoor units can be shown on the building layout view, which enables setting and operation while confirming the exact location of the indoor units in the building. With the web browser function, a standard feature of the ITouch Manager, the indoor units can be displayed and operated on a PC in virtually the same manner as on the ITouch Manager's screen. In addition to the DO unit, the ITouch Manager can also be used in combination with devices developed by I/O terminal manufacturer Wago, allowing it to manage a wider variety of building equipment besides the air conditioning units. If an optional electric meter with a pulse counter and optional PPD software are used, the ITouch Manager can additionally offer a function that allows calculation of power consumption based on the operating hours of the indoor units and opening angle of the electronic expansion valve that changes with the air conditioning load. Let's now take a look at the system configuration. A system in which the ITouch Manager is used alone has one D3net line, to which up to 64 groups of indoor units can be connected. If it is necessary to connect more than 64 groups of indoor units, 7 more D3net lines can be added by connecting up to 7 optional ITouch Controller Plus adapters to the ITouch Manager. This enables the connection of a total of 512 groups of indoor units. By connecting a LAN line to the built-in LAN port, it is possible to monitor and operate the ITouch Manager from a remote location and send a warning to the registered email addresses in the event of a malfunction. With the built-in LAN port, more than one ITouch Manager can be connected via the Internet intranet, allowing monitoring and management of multiple remote sites from one location. There are other functions available with the ITouch Manager, such as a function that shuts down all the connected indoor units when the built-in DI port receives an off signal from the external disaster prevention equipment, and a function that allows, with an optional electric meter with a pulse counter connected to the PI port and optional software, proportional distribution of the air conditioning power consumption charge. Using the built-in USB port, the air conditioning charge calculation data, setting data, and operation history data can be moved to a USB flash drive, allowing utilization and processing of those data on a PC. When an optional WAGO input-output system is used, the ITouch Manager is also capable of turning on and off building equipment other than the air conditioning units, such as pumps and lighting, as well as controlling the air conditioning units upon receiving a signal from an external device. Connecting to the public phone line via the optional modem allows use of the ACNSS service, with which information on a potential malfunction predicted by the ITouch Manager can be reported to Daikin's after-sales service division before the malfunction actually occurs. Note that use of the ACNSS service requires a separate contract with Daikin's after-sales service division. The ITouch Manager can manage up to 650 management points, including the indoor units and other devices linked to the WAGO input-output system. Now, let's learn about Backnet and Longworks. Both Backnet and Longworks are the communications protocols for a building management system, and the BMS can monitor and manage various building equipment, including the air conditioning system, using those communications networks. As the communications protocol used for Daikin's D3Net differs from those for Backnet and Longworks, D3Net cannot be directly connected to the BMS's communications network. This is why Daikin has a lineup of interfaces that can convert signals from D3Net to signals based on the communications protocol of Backnet or Longworks. Connecting to Backnet and Longworks requires highly specialized knowledge, so be sure to consult Daikin's sales engineer in charge when introducing them. Let's learn about the adapter PCB. Here we will take a look at the adapter PCBs KRP2A and KRP4A. They look the same. The differences are that while KRP2A is connected to D3Net, KRP4A is connected to remote control wiring, and their scopes of control are different. In the example shown on the screen, KRP2A controls all the indoor units from 10 to 15 collectively, while KRP4A only controls indoor unit 10. The mechanisms are the same for both KRP2A and KRP4A. Contacts are connected to terminals B1, B2 and BC on the adapter PCB, and the control actions are selected using a rotary switch. For example, when the rotary switch is turned to 1 and the normally open A contact between terminals B1 and BC is closed, the indoor units start operating, and when this contact is opened again, they stop operating. Note that with this setting, the on-off operation from the remote controller is disabled. When a variable resistor is connected to terminals A+ and A-, the set temperature on the remote controller can be changed by changing the resistance value. For example, if the resistance value is changed to 66 ohms, the set temperature is changed to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. By configuring a power supply circuit and lamp between terminals W1 and W2, as well as between terminals W3 and W4, the on-off status can be confirmed by the lamp between terminals W1 and W2, and a malfunction can be confirmed by the lamp between terminals W3 and W4. Finally, let's take a look at another type of adapter PCB, DCS302A. When connected with the ITouch controller or central remote controller, DCS302A allows for the unified on-off operation of the indoor units connected to the controller in question. Contacts are connected to terminals B1, B2 and BC on the adapter PCB, and the control actions are selected using a rotary switch. For example, when the rotary switch is turned to 2 and the normally open A contact between terminals B1 and BC is closed, all the indoor units start operating collectively, and when this contact is opened again, they stop operating collectively. By configuring a power supply circuit and lamp between terminals W1 and W2, as well as between terminals W3 and W4, the on-off status can be confirmed by the lamp between terminals W1 and W2, and a malfunction can be confirmed by the lamp between terminals W3 and W4.